here that he occupied his pulpit, here that he spent his time. This was essentially his home for those 38 years. A shul that he loved, a place that he dedicated his life to. Once, when there was a painting job that needed to be done on this shul, he personally supervised every brush stroke, every bit of paint that was bought, every paintbrush, and he made sure that this shul flourished and was the beautiful edifice that it had become. Congregation in those years was a large community. There were upwards of 4,000 to 5,000 souls in Pretoria, many of whom belonged to this shul, to the big shul as it was known. As you see, a vast place, a place that I remember so well, being full on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Children sitting in the aisles, extra chairs having to be brought in, people literally hanging from the rafters. A place that was of such a wonderful vibe, such a beautiful atmosphere, great chazonim. The community was extremely active. Many, many different activities, many different community clubs, ladies' guilds. It was a vibrant, flourishing, beautiful, wonderful community. I think that we need to mention the late Mr. Hyman Goldman, who was the shamus of the shul for many years. I can picture him standing here on a Yom Kippur. At the end of the davening on Yom Kippur, he would always take the cup that he'd made Havdalah on, and he would say a big loud l'chaim to everybody, boasting the fact, bragging the fact that here he was tasting wine, he was drinking something before anybody else at the end of Yom Kippur. The choir room up there, famous Mr. Garfinkel, who was the base of the choir and actually carried this choir for many, many years under the direction of the late Mr. Zwick, with the famous Chazan Cantor Zwick, Cantor Abraham Zwick. The choir, the voices of the choir reverberating through the shul. Mr. Garfinkel always used to talk about the little boys who came into the choir, of which I was one, coming into the choir, and he would tell them, you are singing with the right key, but you have got the wrong flat. In 1963, my late father saw to the establishment of this beautiful mikveh here in the shul. It wasn't the first mikveh that was built in Pretoria, but it was a beautiful mikveh. He was proud of its unique shape. He was proud of the beautiful tiles that they had designed. He was very, very proud of the fact that he was able to establish a beautiful mikveh that was pleasing to people and one that would see to the spiritual well-being of his community. The new mikveh that has been built to replace this one, now housed at the shul grounds where the community is centered today, the Adath Israel Synagogue Center, has been named in his memory.
We hope that this proud heritage of the Jewish contribution to the growth of the capital city will continue for another 100 years.
Wonderful to see so many of my friends here, although a lot of the community have moved away. The community is much smaller than it used to be. When I came here in 1954, I can remember going to the big shul, which is now closed and empty, and they had to bring in extra seats for Yom Tov, and the girls never had seats. They had to sit on the windowsills or on the steps. It was crowded, and it holds 850 people. There were 850 members. It holds, I think, more than that. And of course, to hear Chazan Hanovit singing tonight, I was here when he was the Chazan here, and well, it's just going back into the past.
Nicht in sich geht ganzen Stoff.
tonight's function, of course, has been a magnificent effort. It's been the culmination of many months of planning. We've had a lot of cooperation from members of the congregation. A lot of people from out of town have assisted us, and we're indeed grateful to everybody that has been involved in tonight and also the weekend's function.
How did you know?
My involvement started in 1951, and I got involved in the congregation, Pretoria United Hebrew Congregation, on the committee, and then I became president and chairman after 5 years, and that office I held for 15 years, deeply involved in congregation and community affairs, in every aspect of communal affairs.
The fact that we've reached this milestone in our congregation's history shows that our forefathers in this city have been successful in their endeavors. We have today a congregation which, although has shrunk in size over the last couple of years, is still very much a vibrant, living Jewish community.
Today we're trying to build the congregation. In the past this has been a very strong Jewish community, and a lot of people have left Pretoria, but those that have stayed now, we want to build and have the confidence to ensure the future of the Jewish community in Pretoria.
In the late 1890s, the community was formed and developed to the degree whereby they founded a shul and built a synagogue, later known as the Paul Kruger Street Synagogue, one of the architectural pieces of Pretoria. That synagogue, that shul, was later sold to the government, and it was there that many famous treason trials and other famous trials in our history took place. The synagogue itself was built by the kind donation of many, many Gentiles, and a fantastic donation that was given to it by the late Mr. Sammy Marks.
Samuel Marks left his mark not only on the Jewish community, but on the total community in South Africa. Today, his home is a museum. Soon after the Boer War, the well-known Mr. Samuel Marks built a school for the Hebrew congregation and named it the Miriam Marks School in memory of his late mother. The aim of the school was for Jewish children to be able to obtain their secular and Hebrew education in the same school. He made an offer to purchase the property where the synagogue stands today, and as a matter of fact, he bought the first bricks for £500. You'll notice that his crest is not only on the Samuel Marks Square in Pretoria, but you'll find it on his crockery and his silverware. Indeed, he left his mark.
This part of the shul, which is very old, where we're standing now, used to be in the early stages the choir, where the choir used to stand, and down at the bottom used to be the bimmer. After a few years it was changed, and the Chazan late Zwick moved it all downstairs onto the bimmer, where he wanted his whole choir. And many a times the bimmer was not big enough for the number of people on the choir, the men on the choir, and this was the reason why he wanted him on the bimmer, so that he could conduct him properly, because he used to stand at the bimmer, the choir behind him, and do like this, wanting which section must sing at the same time.
I was a member of the choir for 68 years, a member of the council for 12 years, and a member of the Talmud Torah, which is an offshoot of the Hebrew congregation, for over 10 years. I was its secretary.
My earliest recollections of the shul was when I used to come to shul. It was packed, and there were chairs on the aisles, also on the sides of the shul, and the center aisle was open between the bimmer and the ark, and there were chairs for the children, special chairs for the children. They were benches, and we as little children used to sit on the benches, and we used to enjoy the service.
There's a well-known anecdote of the first Jew on the moon who is visited by some earthlings who inquire from him, why is it that you have two shuls? You're only one person. To which he responds, I have to have one shul that I don't go to. This wasn't the case, however, in Pretoria, because although there was a division in the community, it was out of necessity that there was people realized that they needed to have another community called the Adath community, which was founded in the Dorless Street Synagogue.
Today the synagogue is being demolished as a highway will be taking its place. Many attempts were made to amalgamate the two Orthodox congregations, and this was finally achieved in 1951. The union, however, was short-lived, and after further attempts were made, the congregation was successfully amalgamated again in 1958 under the banner of the Pretoria United Hebrew Congregation. This is now housed at what once was the Carmel High School.
I think that our community has dwindled so badly, but it seems to have brought the community together. We still have our functions and we still have many activities on the go. Unfortunately, one of our biggest losses was the demise of the Pretoria Zionist Council, which has left a void in the community. But the Board of Deputies is trying to reorganize it, perhaps as a joint venture. And that basically is the biggest thing that's happened. And of course, the close of Carmel School, which was a real blow to the community.
We have got still a very vibrant Jewish community. I must say the young people who've taken over office of the recently are very enthusiastic, which is a good sign.
Certainly one of the most important areas within any community is our children, and we've had to restructure our school. What we have achieved at this particular point in time is a situation which I would say is a compromise. To all intents and purposes, again, our responsibility is to make that compromise work.
The prayer recited 3 times a day. It is written, Vishinantam levanecha, and you shall teach your children diligently. It was with this in mind that the Union of Jewish Women South Africa were the forerunners of educating in underprivileged areas. In Johannesburg, Ntokaswani was established by the Union of Jewish Women, and in Cape Town, creches were started in Elsie's River, Kensington and Manenberg. It is appropriate that we focus on the youth at this time of the year as we celebrate Youth Day.
The philosophy of the Union of Jewish Women is twofold. We are loyal South Africans and very proud Jewesses, and we feel that we have a great deal to contribute to our country. It has always been our principle to develop people who are less privileged than we are.
We have 2 trained nursery school teachers, and then the other 5, they are being trained by grassroots.
The children enjoy a full day's activities. The L'chaim team were most impressed with the spotlessly kept kitchen, and this was not done for our benefit, as we had arrived there unannounced. The nourishing soup keep the children going throughout the day.
The word charity is something which is an anathema to the Union of Jewish Women. We choose to use the Hebrew word tzedakah, which means caring, loving, and really being involved in the community in which you live.